Hey, what's up guys? Matt here. Welcome to another video. Today I am reviewing New Spring. I have finished New Spring. It took me 2 days. It was a great, I'll get into it, but it was a good book. It was a good book. If you don't know, I was going to read A Memory of Light, and then I decided that I was going to then read New Spring prior to reading A Memory of Light because I wanted to finish the series with A Memory of Light instead of New Spring. So that's where we're at. New Spring is 318 pages. It is the prequel to the entirety of the Wheel of Time. And I will talk about a little bit where you should read this because I don't recommend reading it prior to The Eye of the World. We'll talk about it. But here we go. We're going to do a spoiler-free portion. Then we're going to do my review score. And then we're going to do a spoiler story breakdown. Let's start with the spoiler-free portion. So, this book had some beautiful parts. It was a short story compared to other Wheel of Time books, of course. This was, again, 318 pages. But it was a good story. You have action, intrigue, espionage, and of course, the Wheel of Time. What more could you ask for? This was a story of how Lan and Moiraine met. Simple as that. White Tower politics included. Sword forms included. This one was written, of course, by Robert Jordan. A Memory of Light, the last book in the series, was written by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Also, I'm going to take a little aside here because I have read 13 books in the Wheel of Time series prior to reading this. So, I'm not going to spoil anything that is within those 13 books. So you're fine to read this or watch this. If you don't want to watch it until after you finish the series, that's fine too. I'm not spoiling anything of the 13 books. Maybe the first 5, but we'll see. This spoiler-free portion is spoiler-free. So, I apologize, it's confusing with where to read it and things like that, but that's something else to talk about. So yes, Lan and Moiraine, this is their story. If you've read the book, here we go. If you read the book in the release order, which you would have read after book 10, and then you would have read New Spring in release order. If you would have read it there, you would know every single character in this book. And you would also know their futures within the 10 books so far. I read this book after book 13, like I said. I finished Towers of Midnight last week, and I started this book yesterday. I think it's a great place to read it, and I won't say more than that. You're brought back to characters you know and love, and you really get to see how they met. What more could you ask for? I've said that multiple times. What more could you ask for? And there's more. I've asked for more. I felt this book deserved more. It was short, things happened, but they could have been so much more expanded. I wanted more. There were slow parts and there were fast parts, but the saying, greater than the sum of its parts, applies. The good did outweigh the bad in this book, I think. This was an intriguing story, compact, exciting, and definitely brings you back into the world of the Wheel of Time from the beginning of the series. We're riding horses. We're learning how to use the One Power, plain and simple. I really enjoyed this book. Now we enter into the review score portion of the book, where I give you my review score. I've changed this up a little bit from previous entries in the series. Some had emotional impact and prose and things like that. You know what you're getting with Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time. Amazing prose and world building and things like that. But now it's plain and simple. Did I enjoy the book? This is where I rank and review and do scores. I'm sad to say this book, for my enjoyment, receives a 3 out of 5. I wanted more out of the story. It was good, but I would have enjoyed it more if I had more. Pacing was good. The story was intriguing. Things happen that we've heard about if you've read the story. And that was good, but And that might have been why the story was intriguing, because we'd heard about these things before, but we didn't know how they happened or when they happened or who was there. But yeah, I could have had more from this story. The ending also left me wanting more. It was, things happen in the story that we've heard about before, and that was about it. So yeah, a 3 out of 5 for me, and I apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but I'm apologizing. I wanted more, and I didn't get that out of this book. And that is the spoiler-free portion of the story, of the review here. So now we're going to enter in the spoiler portion. So please, if you've not read it, shy away. Again, I read it after book 13, but I definitely don't mention anything that happens in the 13 books. Okay, this story takes place 20 years prior to the Eye of the World. It is the final days of the Aiel War. Moiraine, Damodred, and Siuan Sanche are accepted in the White Tower. And Lan Mandragoran is the uncrowned king of the fallen nation Malkier, and he is battling in the Aiel War. We are in the final days of the Aiel War also. In this 318-page prequel to The Wheel of Time, we hear about King Lawman's death from the Aiel after they burned most of Cairhien. We see Moiraine and Siuan get raised to Aes Sedai and both choose the Blue Aja, not before being in the presence of Tamara Ospina, the current Amyrlin seat, and her keeper of the Chronicles, Gitara Moroso, telling her foretelling. Gitara Moroso gives her foretelling of the Dragon Reborn being born on the slopes of Dragonmount. After she speaks this foretelling, she dies. Moiraine and Siuan are sworn to secrecy and are tasked with finding the Dragon Reborn. Throughout this book, in the next 4 months, Moiraine flees the tower, trying to find the mother of the Dragon Reborn, who gave birth to the Dragon Reborn in the time frame that was spoken by Gitara, of boys that were born on Dragonmount at that time. Siuan becomes a part of the Blue Aja Eyes and Ears. Prior to Moiraine leaving the tower, Tamara Ospina, the Amyrlin at the time, and all of her searchers that she sent out for the Dragon Reborn are killed, dead. Lan and Moiraine meet on the road in Kandor's Aes Daishar Palace. Eventually, at the palace, Lan meets with his first lover, Lady Eden Arel, a woman 15 years his senior. Malkier has some very strange customs, and Lady Eden plans to marry Lan to her daughter, who is 15 years old. Now, you might think that I'm flying through this story, but this is basically it. I've still got a few chapters left, but this is basically it, what happens in this story. Eventually, Moiraine is found out as Aes Sedai in the Aes Daishar Palace by another Aes Sedai who was the mistress of novices, Marianne. I'm going to say Marianne. Turns out, Rhine, who is with Lan, is a dark friend, and Marianne was Black Aja. Moiraine and Lan join forces against their foe, incurring a terrible loss before killing Marianne. Marianne convinces Lan to give up his hopeless war against the Blight and join her in protecting the Dragon Reborn from the Black Aja. It's the same war against the Dark One, but a war that they have a chance of winning. Lan agrees to become Moraine's warder, and together they begin their quest. Also, Moiraine and Siuan, pillow friends, or more? You decide. Okay, that's it. That is the story of New Spring. That is my spoiler review. I highly recommend checking out the Wheel Weaves podcast. They break it down chapter by chapter, like they always do. That's where we're at. I'm super excited. I might even get to start A Memory of Light today. Holy smokes. Okay. That's my review of New Spring. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in your comments, in the comment section below, what you thought of New Spring, if you enjoyed it. Yep, I'm so excited to go start A Memory of Life. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.